There was a time my dad invited someone over to church, a friend of his from another nation. And so he came to church and he found that the sound was horrible. That the microphones were not up to standard, not up to class. So this guy in the middle of the sermon became frustrated and told my dad, you know what, you just sell the seats and buy sound. Would you imagine?
Hi, are you ready to know what you don't know about small changes? Well, you are in the right place. This is the Academy of Small Changes podcast, bringing you small changes that lead to huge progress. And for your information, even your stations are tuned in too. Yeah. And now, he is your host, Eliud Achero. I want us to read from the same page. Privilege is a specific benefit that is completely out of your control. A benefit that you are enjoying by being a member of a particular group or system. And of course, this benefit is beyond what is available to other people. The problem is, we have people in this society who live life like a seesaw. For them to feel high, they have to put others down with this language of privilege. A language that can shut down conversations before they even become meaningful. Have you ever had a conversation with someone whose statements make you feel belittled? Because this language can somehow make you feel like someone is doing you a favor. Yeah. Today we are pleased to welcome Nathaniel Njoroge in the Academy of Small Changes podcast. And we are going to talk about people who value nothing because their privilege has afforded them everything. Privileged people whose statements can potentially shut down conversations even before they become meaningful. Yeah. Let's talk about a few types of privileges that we can relate with. For example, the social economic privilege, the financial stability privilege, the financial muscle privilege. Let's take a look at this situation. You are brought up in a family of financial stability. You are visited by your grandparents. What they bring you is chicken from up country. You don't like it because you value nothing because your privilege has afforded you everything. You are attending a wedding. You are a bridesmaid, a groomsman, and because you are brought up in a family of Range Rovers, Land Cruisers, and Mercedes, when Toyota Corolla 2005 is the only available vehicle, you don't like it because your privilege has afforded you everything. Have you ever found yourself in such a situation, or have you met someone with such attitudes?
Thank you so much, Eliud, for having me.
You're welcome, bro.
So yeah, I've experienced and encountered many people who have privileges in life. And maybe I should just give a short story of an encounter that I had in recent years. Well, for those who know me personally, I'm a pastor's kid, and there was a time my dad invited someone over to church, a friend of his from another nation. And so he came to church and he found that the sound was horrible. That the microphones were not up to standard, not up to class. So this guy in the middle of the sermon became frustrated and told my dad, you know what, you just sell the seats and buy sound. Would you imagine? It was so embarrassing for us as a family, man. So there are people who have these privileges, and I think sometimes the world has attitudes. People have attitudes. So I've experienced attitudes, and yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah, he just looked at my dad and told him, you know what? Look at all these seats. You can sell the seats and buy sound. In front of his congregation, would you imagine? Over 200 people, manze.
That is so unfair.
But it's life, man. It's life. Yeah.
Those are people who value nothing because their privilege has afforded them everything. Now let's talk about the high education privilege. You are a learned person.
Yeah.
That advantage affords you a higher salary on average compared to someone who never made it to school. And of course, you have friends who probably never made it to this point. Have you at any point found yourself making statements that apparently appear to be boastful of your achievements?
Just before I answer that question, I think first of all, it's quite unfair that we get paid because of what you have gone through in school. And I believe there are people who have not had the opportunity to go to school, and they could have been better than us. But coming on to your question, have I at any point found myself making statements that apparently appear to be boastful? I think there was a time I have made statements to people. There was a time somebody in a matatu. I remember one time. I remember I was coming. I stay in Ngong, so I was going to Karen, and there was this guy who wanted to charge me 100 shillings from Ngong to Karen. So I got angry, manze, and I told him, manze, because of the anger, I think I just said to him that, you know what, hata hiyo makanga yako haiwezi kusaidia, but I felt sorry for that. And I think with growing with time, you just know how to handle these issues. So I think at that one point in my life, I made a boastful statement concerning my education.
But again, that was because you are subjected to a situation that you got angry.
And
and you deserve to be angry.
I deserved. But you see, people are also looking at me because it became chaotic. And there were young people there, people who could have laughed at me because of course I cannot fight. My physique is not that good,
That's why you need to go to the gym. Kwani ukitoka nje ni kama umeingia gym. Yaani unatoka hivi nje unajipata uko ndani ya gym. Hautaki kwenda gym.
So that's about it.
We are going to find that out shortly. I have lie detector questions for you. If this is true.
You want to test me, brother?
I want to test you if you are telling us the truth.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a real life situation statements, and I want you to convert them to some statements that is welcoming to your audience and to your listeners. But before we go there, let's move on to another type of privilege, the Western privilege. You have been outside the country before. Have you at any point again found yourself making statements that apparently appear to be boastful about this privilege?
All right. Apparently on this one, I think I'm safe because I've not made anything boastful. Actually, the experience I had outside the country actually humbled me because I think you know this story, but just for the sake of our viewers, let me just say it. I went to a church in... I won't mention the country. I think let's just not.
Let's hold it at that.
Let's just hold it there. So I went to this country, and my dad was invited to, preach. I'm sorry for those who are wondering why my questions are just revolving around my dad, because that's just my life, So we went to this church, and my hairstyle is not the normal pastor's hairstyle. So we went there, and I got into the church. My dad was taken to the office, so I just decided, let me just have a stroll around the church. And we got in. So there is this man who came to me and told me, you know what are you doing in church? You're not supposed to be in church. You're supposed to be outside there. Look at your hairstyle. I told him, hey, you need to respect me, manze. You need to, you just don't see a visitor and you talk to him that way.
A visitor.
And
a day one visitor.
A day one visitor. And he told me to get out of the church. I don't deserve to be in the church because of the hairstyle. And I was just young. I've just finished high school.
And a foreigner,
manze. It was very
environment,
painful.
new people. And this is the first statement you are getting from someone from a different country.
True. Manze. So you see, as in, I thought going outside the country was going to be a privilege. You know, ukitoka tu nje ya country, you expect people to look at you. You know, this is a guy from the other country. But I met a very humbling experience. But with time, they just dealt with it. So yeah. So there, I was not boastful. I think that is where my humility began.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really good. So moving on swiftly, let us go directly to the lie detector questions.
That's right.
I want you to convert these bragging statements to a welcoming statement. Here it goes. I sold more than any other salesperson in our company, yet we have over 400 salespeople, and I sold the most. That's a bragging statement. I want you to convert this statement to a welcoming statement.
Wow.
You are a genius. You are a genius.
Is this a chemistry exam, my guy? Okay, let me see. Salesperson, yeah? 400 salespeople, and I sold the most. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say some people have dreams of being doctors, lawyers, scientists. My dream has always been to be a great salesperson, and today I realized that dream.
Great, my guy. That's a welcoming. And you know, by the way, this statement that you're saying, it does not necessarily tell you, it's showing you that you are the best salesperson.
Yeah.
Because you're not like putting others down so that you appear at the top.
Yeah, true.
It's a welcoming statement, and that's very good of you.
Thank you very much.
The second statement is bado ziko, but I'll be lenient. Wacha nikuchagulie zile rahisi.
Okay.
I graduated from Harvard Law.
Amen.
Harvard Law School.
Yeah.
Top of my class too. Yeah, you know Harvard is in the United States of America.
All right. Wow.
Number one in such a university. Graduating from such kind of a university, because uko masomo ni deadly sana. People drop out. This time you've graduated from Harvard Law School, and you're the top on your class. I graduated from Harvard Law School, top of my class too. Convert this statement to a welcoming statement.
I'll have to compose a paragraph.
Bring it.
I'd say, like many of you, I've had the benefit of receiving great education. And when the opportunity arose, I had to push harder. So I worked hard to graduate in Harvard Law School, and even harder to be at the top of my class.
Man, that was so welcoming.
Yeah.
That was so welcoming. I'm trying to imagine you are saying this statement to someone who has not even had the opportunity to attend a technical school.
True.
A polytechnic school in Kenya. That person will definitely feel, this guy is so considerate.
Yeah.
You know, it's welcoming. You build a good relationship, and that is the way forward we need to move on in this society, because our society today is full of people who value nothing because their privilege has afforded them everything.
True. And on that point of privilege, I think I should just say, we should not limit ourselves to what others have achieved. I have realized that in this life, it's not all of us are meant to be, the person, the celebrity that is on Instagram and social media, the face. That is not what we are all created for. We cannot all fit there. So it's like, just find your passion and pursue it. Exactly. And you're going to realize that all of us are privileged in one way or another. That there is something we can do that can make us happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a fruitful conversation with Nathaniel Njoroge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us in this podcast. It was great to have you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So these are some of the certain uncomfortable truths that we have not and have never been equal when it comes to the privileges we possess. Something unearned. Something that we are enjoying the benefits by simply being a member of that group or system. It is time we adopt a language that is welcoming to underprivileged people. Sometimes getting better at talking tactfully about yourself or privilege in our day-to-day conversation is important because it's inviting to your audience. It's welcoming to your audience. When we are having conversations, we need to consider people by adding comments that connect them, comments that make them feel included, comments that make them feel involved. Yeah.